Today we're in the green pastures of New Westminster, the Queen City. We're on the corner of 6th Street and 5th Avenue. Westminster Shopping Centre now occupies the land where a beautiful old mansion once stood. Here's the old beauty background on the right. Built in 1892, the mansion was converted into a wellness facility in 1919 called Hollywood Sanitarium. Here it is in the old city listings. Dr. Ross McLean took over the place in 1956, renaming it Hollywood Hospital. Doc McLean specialized in treating alcoholism and psychiatric disorders, and things were running along smoothly until 1957, when a character named Alfred Hubbard came for a visit. Known as the Johnny Appleseed of LSD, Acid Al was an American eccentric, millionaire inventor, and spy. He was a flamboyant ex-con with a shady past. Acid Al had traveled extensively promoting his wonder drug, and he may have felt at home here because in the 1920s he worked for Vancouver's infamous rum runner, George Rifle. More on George in a minute. Acid Al drove a Rolls-Royce, had a 100-foot yacht and a fleet of airplanes, and he owned Damon Island off the coast of Vancouver. He went around town with a phony medical degree peddling the 10,000 LSD doses he had purchased in Switzerland. He convinced many prominent citizens that dropping acid would solve all their problems. Acid Al even hooked up the good Reverend Brown at Holy Rosary Cathedral, who distributed this memo on psychedelic drugs to his parishioners in 1957. And when Acid Al showed up here at Hollywood Hospital with his leather satchel full of goodies, he convinced Doc McLean that an acid trip would benefit his alcoholic patients by giving them insight and heightening their self-awareness. And Doc McLean loved the new drug, saying it helps the patient's mind uncover life's true meaning. In 1959, Province newspaper reporter Ben Metcalf took acid here, calling it the most dramatic experience accessible to the human mind. His article stood the town on its ear, and soon the well-heeled and wealthy were clamoring to pay Doc McLean $1,000 a pop for psychedelic trips. This is a photo of one of the psychedelic therapy rooms where a staffer would lead the patient into a world of enlightenment using props, pictures, and suggestions. The staffer who led the most patients through acid trips was named Frank Ogden. He later became an author under the moniker Dr. Tomorrow. He had notes on all the celebrities who came to Hollywood Hospital, but he died in 2013 and took his secrets with him. Lately, though, some famous names have started to emerge. I found several rumors online that Errol Flynn, Judy Garland, and Robert Kennedy's wife Ethel came here for treatment. In his autobiography, Cary Grant dedicates a full chapter to the deeper understanding he achieved with frequent LSD trips. He says he had a rebirth and developed a new assessment of his life. Some say that Sweet Cary visited Hollywood Hospital. Sadly, though, his ex-wife Diane Cannon denounced his LSD use in divorce court. Singer Andy Williams said he dropped acid here several times to help with his marital problems. Said LSD revealed that family, friends, and love are the only important things in life. Sweet Andy said the LSD insight made him cool. And check out this book I got at the library, The Memoirs of Mark Vonnegut, son of famous author Kurt Vonnegut. He was brought here in a police ambulance for schizophrenia treatment in 1971. He says they cut his hair and shaved him against his will, and a fellow patient fought off the orderlies trying to give Mark shock treatment. Mark writes that when he left Hollywood Hospital, he looked like hell, weighed 127 pounds, and walked with a shuffle from the meds. He says Doc McLean wore baby blue alligator shoes and drove a Cadillac convertible. Turns out, Doc McLean had these luxuries because he had become extremely wealthy running Hollywood Hospital. In fact, he had enough cash to buy Vancouver's nicest mansion, Casa Mia, which was originally built by, you guessed it, Acid Al's old boss, rum runner George Rifle. Acid Al didn't do as well, though. He eventually lost his fortune and died in 1982, aged 81. He was a penniless security guard living in an Arizona trailer park. This beautiful little house across the street, built in 1935, would have witnessed all those famous celebrities sneaking in for a psychedelic trip. Sadly, though, houses can't talk. So to find out why the hospital was named Hollywood, Let's go see my friends at the New Westminster Archives. Alright, they have an impressive collection of materials here. I thought it was called Hollywood Hospital to cater to the celebrities, but it says here it was named for the holly trees on the grounds of the old mansion. After thousands of acid trips inside Hollywood Hospital, increased political pressure forced Doc McLean to sell the property to developers in 1975. The developers promised to keep all the holly trees there, but sadly they didn't keep their promise. This picture was taken just before Hollywood Hospital was destroyed. Apparently the contents were sold off. If anyone has some memorabilia, please leave a comment below. And here's a shot of the destruction. Big hit. Big hit. We'll wrap things up across the street from the old Hollywood Hospital location at one of my favorite places, Kozak Ukrainian Eatery. Best chocolate babka in town. Hope you enjoyed this little taste of old New Westminster as she once was. Shoutouts today to Andy Stone, Don Garda, Mark Devereaux, and Philip Matthew Ogle. Special thanks to the New Westminster Archives. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Until next time, be good to the other. Jeez. All this talk about LSD, this babka is starting to look psychedelic, man. Far out, man.